Welcome to today's episode of Salesforce Unraveled. And I thought today let's talk about the AppExchange. What it is, why you would use it, and what are sort of the good and the bad things are about it. Now let's place a scenario first. So you are in a business and maybe you have a sales team going out and about, going to customers and basically selling stuff. And whilst with the customer, they want to sign contracts. So they offering the package. Customer says there and then, yeah, let's go for it. And then they want to buy it. And so at the moment, it means your sales team goes back to the office. They deal with the paperwork. They get everything ready. They sign it off to the customer. And then they have to wait for the customer to read the email, to sign it off and to send it back again. And we found that actually over time, quite a lot of customers just don't do it or either delay it. And it is causing a lot of frustrations. So what are your solutions? Now, basically you have two solutions. You can either look for a developer or a company to build a bespoke for you. Or you can go to the AppExchange and see what is there and if you can use anything of that. Now let's go to those two scenarios and see what the pros and cons of each of them are. Now, if you use either a developer that you maybe have in-house, or maybe you get a contractor in, a developer contractor to do it, or you look for an agency that maybe has built it in the past and, maybe get recommended and you ask them to do it. The benefit of that is you're going to get exactly what you want. They will be responsible for building what you want and they will build it to spec. So you get exactly the way you like it. Downside of it is it's probably going to be quite expensive because it takes a lot of developer time. And as we know, developer time is relatively expensive. The other solution is the AppExchange. Now, why would you use the AppExchange? Well, if a company already has built a solution, you can look on the AppExchange, you search for it, and you can find your solution there. And then you have the choice often for free options or for something that you need to pay for. Maybe on the subscription model, or there are different solutions for how you can buy it. Now, why would you use the AppExchange? Well, if it's a good package, if it's a good solution, it will have a lot of recommendations. And so you know that you buy something that will work. The downside is that you will have limited choice on making it bespoke. It will already be built. You might be able to do some small changes, but in general, they're minor. They're not really that many that you can build. And so that's the downside, but it might still be a good solution. Now, for me, the benefit of the AppExchange is it's built, it's been tested, and it's working. And that just means for you, there's a lot of stress taken out of the equation. Now, how does it then work? How would it work? So on the AppExchange, basically what you do is if you are interested in buying something, you of course look at the model and, once you agree with it, how it then works is you basically download a package into your org. That package has all the code, all the settings, all the stuff that you need to get this to work. Now, ideally, of course, you do that first in a sandbox. Sandboxes are really important for this. Don't do this straight in live, because if things go wrong, you can make horrible mistakes. So this is an ideal situation where you can use the sandbox to actually test, is this package the way I want it? Does it work the way I want it? And then if it does, I can deploy to my live org and do it there. Like I said, the packages is basically, I just look at sort of a zip file. That's what I just call them. Fancy zip file that has all the code in it. You put it in, you unload it. It then gets to work. And then in the end, you have a working solution. Now, the AppExchange itself has a gazillion of solutions for everything and anything. And I think that is the beauty of it. Is you might not even think you have a problem. Just by looking in there, you might find solutions that actually might work. Now, stuff you can find there is not just things like, for example, signatures, but maybe, you can find things like bespoke dashboards, bespoke reporting. There's one famous one that most admin and developers know about, and that is about adoptions. So if you have an adoption process, if you're literally implementing Salesforce, it will have a good tool there that you can use that already has the dashboards for you. Saves you building it, which is quite a good way to do it. But you can also maybe find all kinds of automation processes. There's a ton about things like backing up data, like how do you do with your metadata. And so the AppExchange is really a useful platform. It's bespoke for Salesforce, so you find all your Salesforce stuff in there. Easy access, easy downloading. Now, how does stuff get on there? Well, it's either developers who have done stuff and say, well, actually, I've built a solution here and it's such a cracking solution. I think I need to give it to other people. And so there are, of course, processes around it, but they have the option to put it on the AppExchange. And they can either sell it there or give it away for free. There are also businesses whose model it is to actually build solutions. And so, for example, that email signature where I started this conversation with, there are certain companies who actually their business model is to give you that solution. And so you can buy then into it, and it's easy way for them because they have sort of their bespoke work, and it's easy for you because you get it on there. I really think that the AppExchange, is a good way to find solutions for any business challenges that you have. It's quick, it's easy, it's often cheaper than actually hiring something. But like I said, the downside is that you don't get it bespoke. And so for you as a business, you have to make the challenge like, okay, what do I think I want? Do I need something really bespoke and really just custom made for me? Or am I okay and getting something that, maybe it's not completely 100% the way I want it, but it's 90% there. Okay, I can live with the 10% that is not the same. So I'd really say for anybody, have a look at the AppExchange, browse around it, have a play with it, see what's in there, see what options are in there, and see what you can use. Salesforce themselves regular releases solutions for anything and everything into the AppExchange. So there's all kinds of different stuff you find there for them, and of course from all kinds of other people. So with that, I would say, hope you enjoyed this talk. It's one of my shorter ones, but hey, I'm out and about trying to enjoy a little bit of good weather before I go back to work. And hopefully I'll see you soon on the next one. Remember, subscribe, like, comment, any tips you have for anybody else, any questions you have. And also if there's anything else you want to know or want me to cover in one of these chats, please drop a message in the comment, and looking forward to speak to you soon.